and welcome to Portman Road. This sound indicates an important announcement.
Hello again, friends, and you are my friends, and welcome back to the Talking Town. This is a match preview. We've got Charlton coming up at the weekend. I know they come around so quickly when you're having fun, don't they? And wasn't it fun midweek? No, it really wasn't. So welcome in. Everyone grab a glass, grab a favourite beverage, and of course get yourself comfortable. We've got Nick Muller. Fans back. Who gets the golden ticket? Sadly, I can't. Got to work. Well, if you win it, I'll have yours. He also says only 2,000. Callie, this man right here, Callie is an absolute legend. We can't thank you enough, Callie. I doubt I can go as Westminster's Tier 3. So not sure if we're allowed in Suffolk. And Jacob Farrow, good evening. As always, you can take part in tonight's proceedings. Just drop it in the chat box and let's get the conversation flowing. There's a lot to unpack. So, of course, we've got a bumper preview show. We have got I will introduce this man first and foremost because I forgot I'd invited him, Mr. Robbie D, the Don. Welcome in. How you doing?
Yeah, I've had better midweeks. And yourself?
Yeah, no, midweek wasn't great. I'll tell you somebody else who didn't enjoy midweek. He was on the show for a record amount of time when he hasn't been a guest. It is the Cruncher. I forgot to
Did you see
them
them views? I just kept staying. My iPad nearly ran out of battery. That's why I had to go in the end. I said, I better go. I had about 2% left.
I was watching it back, and I've got rid of everybody one by one as they've come in.
Yeah, I did actually think that. I thought you might get rid of me, and I thought I just stayed. I thought,
I just forgot you weren't on the show.
Just stay for the ride. Anyway, record number of views on YouTube for a full-time show. I think we're nearly at 900. I looked a little bit earlier, so it's not all that bad losing, is it?
No, definitely not. We've got Darcy. All right, boys. Luke. Hi, Martin. Hope you're well. I'm very well, thank you, Luke. How are you? Hox, where's the Cruncher's intro? Okay, if I can get 5 people in the chat saying, where's Cruncher's intro, I'll play the intro.
Come on, guys.
You're such a people person, Martin. You know, wasted on
Anyway, Hox, I hope you're all right. I see he was back at work today, and it was his first day since he returned, and he said he's a bit tired, so look after yourself, mate.
Where's the microphone gone? Crunch. I just noticed you're not on the mic. You're not set up with the.
I'm on the iPad tonight.
You're on the. Oh, okay. You shoved into the kitchen.
I'm switching it up, mate.
Do you want to show the world your Christmas tree?
Yeah.
Because it is a splendid thing.
It's not decorated yet. Look, but look at this.
Look at that.
It's massive.
There's more tree there than Thetford Forest.
And I think we're having one in the living room, but that'll be the false one, mate. So.
All right, I've got more than 5. So before I introduce the media mogul, let's have it. He's already.
Thank you very much.
There we go.
Rich, when did you start doing after dinner speaking? That's a great little intro, that, isn't it? You could really be on the circuit.
Go on here.
It's absolutely amazing. Right, Matthew Phillips, welcome in. He is, of course, the media mogul. He brings the news of yesterday today, or tomorrow today.
Where's my intro? You won't get 5 people wanting that, let me tell you that.
I'll tell you what, if I get 5 people wanting it, I'll be amazed, but I'll play it.
I can't hear Martin.
That's a good world to be in. Hock says, like the start of the end of the movie 8 Mile, that. It's one of my better intros. We just add him back to the stream, see if that helps.
Can you hear?
No.
What's happened now?
Look at that, look.
What happened there?
Look at that. I don't know.
Put me music on and I couldn't hear.
I don't know. So, Matt, something I mentioned the news of tomorrow today because the fan base are talking about something that you've been talking about for a while. Isn't that correct?
Well, yeah. You just have to go back on our little back catalogue of shows to see that we've been discussing all this since about, May? I think we've been wanting Lambert out. Me and Rich have been wanting Lambert out since, not you, Martin, obviously. Wanting Paul Lambert out since March. And we've discussed various people that could be the manager, Paul Cook being one. And then
Not
You know,
you, Mike.
Sunday, we said we will get turned over, and lo and behold, 3-0. So you come to Talking Town if you want to hear what's going to go on next.
Do you know what? I think I'm going to have to try and prize these knives out for the foreseeable, because every time we mention the word Paul Lambert, it's always, not you, mine. Not you, mine. As you can't, no one can resist us putting that sly knife in and making sure that everyone's aware. I've got one person that says, Matt's intro, please.
Yeah, that
4
sums it up,
more
doesn't it?
people.
Yeah, never mind.
Hey,
It's all good.
We've got the host, we've got the cruncher, and then we've got Matt. You know, that's just the way it is. So, shall we bring our special guest in? Our very special guest. He is, of course, the author of the Fuller Flavour article in the East Anglian Daily Times and the Ipswich Star, not the Evening Star, is, of course, the myth, the legend, Mr. Carl Fuller. Carl, welcome in.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. It's a real privilege to be amongst so many great people.
And Matt.
Carl,
We'll pay you later.
Yeah, I understand. I'm here to talk cricket with Rich. Is that right?
Yeah. England tomorrow, Carl. England 2020.
Great.
Talk a bit of Essex. Do you want to talk a bit of Essex, Matt?
Yeah,
a bit of Essex.
So,
Oh, God,
so we
yeah.
won the
Let's talk
title.
Derek Bowden, yeah?
I mean, it's Thanksgiving. It should be NFL, about any sport that's not football.
No, cricket. We won the title when me and Rich were sat at the. I'm not
He
gonna
wants
say the name
Bowden.
of the-
He
I'm not
wants
gonna say the
Bowden.
sponsor.
He wants Bowden back.
We called it. That's
Bowden
another one we
back.
called Sunday. That's another
He
one we
wants
called
Derek
Sunday.
Bowden back, Carl.
Get Derek
Well,
back.
What did he achieve in his last 4 or 5 years at Essex?
Ooh.
Everything he could have done.
Promotion, 2 county championships, a T20 title. Winning mindset, Carl. Get him down the town.
Yeah, I'll have a word.
Drop a little line. Drop a little WhatsApp.
I feel I've got to mention this because it's unprecedented, but we've got 1, 2,
Look at that. Ooh.
3,
Oh, my God.
4.
Come on. Where's the 5th one?
We need the 5th.
Oh, he's teasing.
Come on, Johnny.
He's teasing
Come on, Johnny.
him.
Got
You're
one.
teasing him now.
I thought I did. Lyndon, loving the shirt, Rich. Luke Penny, big game of our season. Yeah, we'll get into that in a short while. Johnny Duncan, you think it's bad having Lambert as a surname? I had the whole North Stand calling him, chanting, calling him. Oh yes, of course, yes, of course. The last time they forced the manager out by storming the pitch. Was any of us there?
Yeah, I was there. Do you remember that, Carl?
I was on the pitch.
Yeah, I remember that. I was in the Pioneer stand with my old man.
Excellent.
Chanting on the pitch.
We had season tickets back in that time. Sergei Baltachar debut, all that thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't there, but I've heard enough about it to know almost word for word, blow for blow, what happened. You know, so
that team would have beaten this one.
yeah. Alan Sunderland was in that team, wasn't he? Was it Alan Sunderland's team?
Oh.
No, I think he'd gone, Matt. He'd gone.
Yeah,
He'd gone by then.
then.
I was on the
Okay.
pitch when we wanted Mick McGivern out as well. Remember that?
Blimey.
Show me age.
Right. I have now got enough, so I'm going to play Matt's intro. When we come back from Matt's intro, we
You
have
don't have
got.
to play.
No, you sure?
You don't have to. That's why we're wasting Carl's time just playing my intro. I just wanted to see there was some love out there for me. There is.
There is.
I
There
appreciate it.
really is. So in that case, we've got the will. But I wanted to find a message before I played the will, which is why I wanted a little bit of time. But that's fine. It was because 40 years ago today was obviously a UEFA Cup semi-final, and I wanted to read out, unless anybody knows it off by heart, that team, because I read it earlier and it was just wall-to-wall stars. And it was a real comparison to today's discussion. But I can't find the message because I didn't get enough time. But it was Mills, Cooper, some great players. Does anyone remember that team? Does anyone remember who was in that team?
My first games were in '81. Yeah, I was thinking this the other night. Actually, we've got the UEFA '81 strip that everyone's wearing. Have you ever seen a collection of 11 players that doesn't deserve to be wearing that shirt, as you saw on Tuesday night? You know, we're supposed to be following in the footsteps of greatness. The team that won the '81 UEFA Cup. Nowhere near, are we? Nowhere near it.
No.
I've got it. And it was Cooper, Mills, McCall, Tyson, Osmond, Butcher, Walk, Murin, Mariner, Brazil, and Gates.
Decent.
Decent.
Who was that against?
It doesn't say.
That would have been
Doesn't
like,
say.
I don't know, did say Lodz or somebody.
But
When
what
Bohemians.
team?
Bohemians.
Bohemians, yeah. Yeah, they all win the games, weren't
What
they?
was that? What was that Greek team? Aris Salonika.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it played in yellow.
Ridiculous game there, I think. Away.
Somebody asks, it's unknown if these are of town origin, but anyone at Norwich away when we lost 3-0.
My question to that is which time?
Fair point. Fair point. It is a fair point. Shall we bring the wheel out?
Go for it.
Everyone gets over when a wheel's involved. You know, so it's here.
Cole's got to go first, doesn't he? He's the guest.
Absolutely. Yeah. There is some topics here that I've put into the wheel.
Still got that green and yellow on there. You still got that on there.
It's not my software.
Get rid of it.
I can't change it. So, Carl, when you say spin, I will spin the wheel, and the first topic will be presented.
Rightio. Okay, spin.
Spin. There we go. Here we go. Here it comes.
I feel there should be a drum roll here.
Yeah.
That's it. That's extra.
Name that band.
Ooh.
Okay, right. So I name that band. Right. We've all got to name what we would call this band. All right. Are you ready for this? I saw it earlier on Twitter.
What, us five?
What would you call that band?
It's got to be the Sugar Babes, right?
Bananarama.
Bananarama.
Fuck.
I'm going no direction.
I saw it and I thought that's a good little icebreaker.
That's very good.
What the fuck is that?
Always looks like Matt Lucas in drag.
I've got it. Think
Go
of
on, Carl.
Bananarama. It's got to be Fun Boy 3.
Ben Moore's gone Sugar Lumps.
Sugar Lumps. Yeah.
Sore Feet's gone Hearsay. Adam Flatt, Atomic Donkey. Ian Peters, Twisted Sister, and Jacob Farrow, Lambert and Co.
Yeah, I see that coming.
Sorry. So, I didn't expect it to come out that early, but there it is.
Decent. Good content. Yeah, good.
Great photo, courtesy of Twitter. Right.
Don't get on other podcasts, Matt, do you?
Sorry, I know, I'm childish. Rob, when you're ready, say spin that wheel and I'll spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel.
I'm sorry, I'm so childish. I'm sorry.
Doesn't show, mate.
Oh, look at that.
Charlton preview.
Charlton preview. So, Charlton this weekend. Don't mention your team because we're going to mention our teams a bit later on. But I guess, preview the Charlton game. We'll have a turn. What we're looking forward to, not looking forward to, what we're feeling, what we're not feeling, etc., etc. Robbie, kick us off.
What am I not looking forward to? The game.
In there for 90 minutes.
No, honestly, I worry about us because I'm inclined to say that Charlton might be a better team than Hull on their day. Honestly, I don't know. He's got to make big changes, but he had to make big changes on Tuesday.
Can he make big changes, Rob?
He's not got the personnel.
He hasn't got much personnel, but he can't play the same team, surely.
He did make me chuckle.
He's got to find a way to change it.
They made me chuckle when they said, we're a bit lightweight in midfield. You only had like 20 caps, international caps across the three.
That's probably our weakest midfield, just because they've got caps. I don't know. He's missing some good players, but at the end of the day, he's got to go. I think he's got to go two up front. Whereas I feel like we should be banging the Dobra drum any week, any game, any time.
He ain't going to do two up front, is he, mate? Because, like he said, we can't play two up front. We can't
play one up front. We can't play three up front. We can't play two up front.
It was interesting. Did you see Cole? Did you see Stuart Watson's comments? I think it was on Wednesday morning when he gives his 5 points from the game, and he was on about with the three subs on the three strikers we had on the bench. It was like Jackson, Hawkins and Drinnan, and they said Drinnan's played no football, right? He's played no football whatsoever, so it was highly unlikely that he was ever going to get on the pitch. Sears gets injured, you've used Lancaster as your midfielder, and you've got no more midfielders. Now, Dobra is about 200 miles away in Bristol playing for the under-23s. Now, what is he doing?
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. And when he said it was hopeless, thinking about playing two up front, why have three strikers on the bench?
Exactly.
You're not going to replace one striker with another, are you?
Have you ever heard such nonsense, Carl? This team can't play with 2 strikers up front. So we can't play with Norwood and Jackson up front together? That's not a thing anymore?
The thing that he did all of last season.
Yeah, 22 goals between them last year. I mean, you don't tell someone they're hopeless, which in a roundabout way he did. I've got a friend who's an MBQ assessor, and if one of his students said, I can't learn this way, can I adapt and learn another way? He's not going to turn around and say, no, because you'd be hopeless at it, because they've never learned. Their confidence would be shot. I just don't get it.
It's really weird, isn't it?
Graham
It's just
Tate.
more Lambert lingo, Mine, isn't it? More Lambert lingo. He keeps coming out with this nonsense.
It certainly is. It's surprising, though, because you mentioned, like, Graham Tate, remember Charlton Real Madrid, they lost to Burton 4-2. They struggled with Burton, to be fair. The scoreline does flatter them a little bit. JT, the way he has managed some of the youngsters, this is a comment I was going to get to, is another Schamberg failure. And it's interesting, because I've spoken to a few people that have played for Lambert at Norwich with Culverhouse. And the overwhelming thing I have heard is Lambert is your motivation, Culverhouse was your tactics. So Monday to Thursday, Culverhouse would really get you ready for the game. And then Friday would come around and Lambert would get you in the changing room or call you into the office, and you'd leave wanting to run through a wall for him. So it's really interesting to see that sort of disconnect in what we're seeing in terms of maybe the way he's managing players with that, because obviously you would think that's his strong point. Well,
he's got history there. If you say about Norwich, you look at Villa, he was making the likes of Darren Bent and a couple of other players have to train with the youth team.
Yes, he was. Yes.
So
isn't there a famous Gabby Abongalo story about?
Yeah, maybe it was that as well. Yeah, that's what I've heard. But I think I find it bizarre, to be honest with you. I find it.
It's all about the personnel you've got, and you use them in the best way you can. So at the minute, when you've got hardly any midfielders available, surely you would play 2 up front, or I don't know. I just find it really, really baffling, and I think that's an indictment of his coaching as well, because it was when he came in. What did he play? 4-3-3, 4-4-2. He went to last season, then 3-5-2. Now he's gone back to 4-3-3. If he bins this, he looks an absolute idiot, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Carl, do you think this is more? And you mentioned it there yourself. You said about him sort of in a roundabout way slamming his players. Do you think if he had Cole Skuse available to him, he would feel more comfortable going with the 2 in midfield as opposed to a couple of young players such as Andre and Brett?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe. I think he would use Cole's experience in there and would feel a lot more comfortable with having an older guy with the younger guy. But also, I think it'd be just as comfortable if Flynn Downs was around as well.
Yeah.
Are you a Skuse fan, Carl? Have you liked him over the years?
No,
not for you.
No, he should have gone when his contract was up last time out.
Spot on.
Oh, Carl, come back next week, Carl.
That's been pretty much the view. Yeah.
But I just think maybe it's more of an indictment of Lambert feeling he's going to get overrun with a 2 in midfield. I mean, I know Mick. I distinctly remember reading articles.
He's as stubborn as Mick.
Yeah, but Mick couldn't. Mick never felt Wordsworth could play in a 2, could he? He always felt Wordsworth had to play in a 3. Hang
on. If you listen to
signed
Mick Mills
Wordsworth.
if you listen to Mick Mills the other night, McGavin was playing just in front of the back 4. Judge was about 70 yards away, God knows wherever, and then Hughes was filling that space. So he's saying you can't play 2 in there. He's got 3 in there.
One by one, isn't it?
But they're all over the show. So
the reality is, Rich, they can't really play Judge in there, can they? He hasn't got the discipline to.
No, he hasn't at all. He hasn't got not at all.
It was needs. To be fair to Paul Lambert, it was needs must, I suppose, but I don't know.
He could have changed the formation. He could have changed the formation in that game and not had to have risking Judge in there.
So if you wanted to say, and I'll start with you, Carl, what this squad is built for? Is it 4-4-2, 3-5-2, 4-5-1, 4-3-3? In your opinion, what is this squad built to do?
Well, if I manage them tomorrow, it would be a 4-4-2.
So you feel the squad's been assembled to play a 4-4-2?
Yeah, I think so. But I just want to quickly go back to you mentioned Mick. Don't forget he had Tabby.
Ah, yes. Tabby Alonso.
I said the other night, when Amy, I think, was it Amy mentioned J Tab? Cole, J Tab would walk into that midfield at the minute.
He would do. Yeah, he would do.
But then even then he played Ando and Tab as two additional central midfield players. They were so narrow at times. He was flooding that central area. Again, I think he was frightened about being overwhelmed centrally, and I think that's what's playing in Lambert's mind. But I asked the question, and I'll come to all of you before I go any further. So, Rich, what do you feel the squad's been assembled to do?
Well, he's been here 2 years. Surely he should know what formation, the tactics we're going to use. But he keeps changing. He keeps changing too much. And now he's just, like you said, Rob, he's turning like Mick and he's turning stubborn. And he's not going to change it, is he? He's going to stick to that 4-3-3. It's like Norwood went off the other night. He brought Hawkins on and he put Jackson wide. And it was crying out, we're 2-0 down at home. What have you got to lose? What have you got to lose in a game like that? You know, we lost 3-0 anyway. We might as well have chucked another striker up there and had a go. But we didn't. We just went through the motions, didn't we, second half?
We'll come into the whole thoughts a bit later on if it comes out on the wheel. So, Matt, formation-wise, lots to talk about formation at the moment. So what do you feel the squad's assembled to do?
Well, I mean, we can talk about it until we're blue in the face, can't we? We know he's not going to change it. We said on the show previously, haven't we? And shout out to my man Gary there in the comments. 3-5-2 seems to be the one I would probably play, and probably with, in an ideal world, Kane Vincent-Young on that right, ruling forward. But you know what we want and what we're going to get is totally different.
Well, yes. Yeah. And Rob, as I come to you last, this is not necessarily what Paul Lambert is going to do. This is about what you feel, looking at the list of players on the bit of paper, that you feel this squad is more assembled to do. It's what your personal taste is, not what he made at this point.
I personally agree that it all revolves around Vincent Young. You got him fit, you play that 3-5-2. It's built for that. You've also got 5 or 6 midfielders who you've got to keep all of them happy. So 3 roles in there, where they're all fit, does open the door for 1-2 rotation, and everyone gets their game time. But with the players we've got at the moment, for me, it's got to be 4-4-2 because we don't have that pulsating fullback. We have only one at the club, and he's not fit.
But could you say about a 3-5-2, Rob, with Vincent Young? Could you see Stephen Ward playing that role on the other side? Because not really. He's not got the legs.
I think honestly, I'm not really that taken with him either way. I know what you're saying, but I think you gain so much from having Vincent Young down that right side that it's worth gambling with the other side.
He certainly looked. Martin made this point on the show at the weekend. He certainly looked different, than he Ward, since he's been playing alongside McGuinness. He hasn't come back from the injury, particularly in the form that he was before. A lot
of goals and things coming from his side, isn't there? Even that first one.
Yeah. Perhaps he just plays better with Wilson. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe there's better communication. Maybe McGuinness is a young man, not quite as sort of reading the game as Wilson. Yeah. That's one thing I'll say for Wilson. I'm not his biggest fan, but he can read a game. Everything's in front of James Wilson, and he can read it really well. And it's interesting getting all your opinions on this different formation because, as I'm often told, you're a Lambert sympathetic, I'll call it, but I can't work out what he was building with this, because if he's building a 3-5-2, Stephen Ward wasn't at flying fullback, and you also have no cover for Kane Vincent-Young, a player who couldn't stay fit last year. If it's a 4-4-2, I don't think you've got that. I'm going to call him a real Lee Cattermole type midfielder that's going to nip at people's ankles. Downs is not that type for me. He's a box to box. He's not a nipper. He's not a rough and tumble. He's got that in his game, but he's not.
Is he? If he's a box to box, then Martin, he should get a lot more goals.
Yeah,
we should. Yeah, we said that in the summer.
I would say he's more Cattermole. I would say he's got that grit in his game. Look at the amount of yellow cards he got last season.
I think he's the only midfielder we've got at the club who can actually take the game by the scruff of the neck and make change it the way it's going. Yeah. Without him, we just, like you said, we go through the motions. Even when it's 0-0 or something, we don't really grab hold of it and take a chance, do we?
No.
Interesting to see what Charlton play in it on Saturday. I think they're 4-4-2 with Marcus Maddison. I think plays right side.
Johnny Williams and Marcus Maddison. That's what I'm looking forward to. Them two.
That's when you want somebody to be kicking. I know it's football, we don't like all that, but a player is already a bit lightweight, for a better word. You need someone like Gerard Ndor, who's just going to first 5 minutes.
His second mention in a week.
Rob will tell you how much I love Gerard.
He's not had a player that's made a tackle since. That's why he keeps mentioning it.
Exactly. It's been how long? Too long.
Yeah.
But Mick Miller would say 4-4-2. Adam Flatt would say 4-3-3. Kempy, Wensdown's back. Good. Well, this is Ipswich Town. Life, death, taxes, and injuries.
Who knows?
Down,
Well, you'll
mate.
find out tomorrow, won't you? He'll give his injury report.
No, you won't. You'll find out he's doing all right. Michael Brown, Edwardian KVY either side on a 3-5-2. Callie, I'd keep Chamber as a right wing back, put Kane as a left wing back, or failing
great.
that, Kane to right wing and bring the National as a left wing. The thing I don't understand is this whole 3-5-2. If he wanted to go that route, he played Edwards there for a large part of last season. Now, I'm not saying Edwards should play there, but I'm saying if you're a manager and you're stubborn as he is, wouldn't you just put Edwards there? Because that's 3-5-2 and you want to play a 3-5-2. Like, he quite clearly thinks this 4-3-3, 4-5-1 is the master plan, which is quite worrying.
He's never going to change from it, is he? He's not going to change from it. It was interesting to see Bowyer said, even though they lost 4-2, which was a really bad result on paper, they said that Bowyer was saying that it could have been 7-7. They were unlucky actually not to get a draw, is what they were saying. So. And they got Connor Washington up front, who McCarthy tried to get in as the replacement for Murphy. And then we ended up with Leon Best, I think.
Keep him
Sums
all.
it up, doesn't it?
Yeah, ask our friend Graham Matt about the Leon Best. That's one of the highlights of that show. Yeah, exactly. Right, back to the wheel. It's your spin. So, tell me to spin that wheel, and I will spin that wheel.
This me, is it? Go for it.
It is.
Go for it.
Here it comes. What have we got? We have got Hull City Reflection.
Oh, man.
This will be interesting.
Should we
Because, yes, we do. So we are 2 days removed, nearly, a full 2 days removed from Hull. What are our post-mortem thoughts? What are
let's get Cole's thoughts. What did you think, Cole?
Well, I knew we were going to lose to Hull.
Yeah,
we've
it
got
was
an
the most
awful record
predictable
against
result
them.
ever, wasn't it?
They talked about them being a bogey side for Ipswich, but I'm glad this has come up because I've got a question for you guys. How many Ipswich managers more or less left Ipswich soon after playing Hull City? And most of them because it was part of a losing run, I'll add. And the nearest one gets, some of my sticker swaps in the post.
Ooh.
I'm going to say
I've started that.
3. I'm going to say 3.
I'm going to say 4.
Or
2.
I mean, I've got to go 1 now just to be different, but I would have said 2. I would have said 2.
if we go all the way back to the days of Scott Duncan.
Whoa, okay, whoa. We didn't go that far back.
Well, okay. Yeah, but I'm older than you guys, so I do. I'm talking 7 managers.
Wow.
Right?
7. How many have we had?
I'll quickly go through them. Mick McCarthy, when we lost 3-0 at home to Hull, he was gone within 5 games.
Yes.
Paul Jewell, when he lost against Hull, next game, home to Derby, and he went. Roy Keane, we lost 1-0 to Hull. He was gone within 6 games. Joe Royal, he did get a draw, but he was gone within 6 games. Johnny Duncan, lost 4-3, gone next game. Bobby Ferguson, he was gone within, well, he actually lasted 10 whole games. And Scott Duncan went 3 games after playing
This
Hull.
bodes tremendously well.
So for anyone that wants Lambert out, I predict 10 games will be about the beginning of the new year, which if we lose every game between now and then should be enough.
By then,
Christmas, Carl. I always said Christmas.
he'll only have 4 years left then as well, so that will reduce the price Marcus Evans has got to pay him off, right?
Exactly, yeah. So, yeah, that's my feelings on Hull.
Yeah.
It was such a sorry spectacle, wasn't it? I mean, what did we concede in a minute 40?
Yeah.
With a training game goal.
Yep.
Pathetic.
And then
I tell you what it reminded me of? The Middlesbrough game. When Chambo passed straight to one of their players and scored. Do you remember it? Was it 2-0?
Yeah.
That was a real low point, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Common theme there, isn't there? That name and bad performances.
What's that?
Chambers.
Second goal, he switched himself off.
Well,
we can see goals. Like we just stabilised in the game. In that game, it took us 25 minutes to recover from the first goal. We stabilised. We get the ball around for a little while, and we can see the second goal.
The thing is, we stabilised. But
Terrible
we never
timing.
looked like a team.
No,
that
we
was
didn't. We didn't.
on a
But
level
there was
with
not.
them.
It looked like we got to grips with the fact we were behind. You know what I mean? And
This is my
then
big
get to half time and.
But this is my big argument because Matt mentioned it earlier. All the international caps, like on paper, this is a good team. But I've had enough now to know that on grass, this team is not good. Full stop.
I wonder how vocal Emmy Hughes is.
Set us up.
How vocal is Emmy Hughes on the pitch? I mean, if you listen to his interviews, he's saying, I don't know.
What did he say?
You didn't like it. What did you call him?
What's that?
What did you call Emmy Hughes?
Come on, Matt. What did you say?
The plank.
After that interview.
I mean, listen, show a little bit of interest in your job, right? It sounds like he's going to drift off to sleep. So it does make me worry how communicative he is on the pitch.
There's no leaders on that pitch. There's the captain.
Don't count on him to be a leader. That's all I'm saying.
He's the only one who's even got the qualities, let alone to do it. There's no other captains in the squad for me.
He's a player that's just treading water constantly, Hughes. No, I said in the summer, he annoys me.
He's paying for a contract.
See Benjamin's comment there. I see. Was it Jake Reeve from Norwich City? You put it on the group, didn't you, Matt? Of that pattern of play when Judge has gone down the left and he's put that cross in. Well, it was a cross to Bennett's, and then Bennett's proceeded to pass it, didn't he, to Mallet Wilt? And it was like, what is this?
We've been trying to get to Norwich City to talk Ipswich Town all summer, haven't we? Now suddenly we get to November, they want to have a little chat.
Yeah,
they get paid.
You can't blame them. You can't blame them. We are terrible.
It was absolutely terrible.
Yeah, and this is my problem. That's not good players. I'm sorry. Alan Judge on paper might read Alan Judge X, Y, and Z caps, played for Ireland. This, that, and the other. Come on.
Do you know what I thought was funny about that clip is that not only was it a poor cross, but he actually got onto his favoured foot and took the time to get there when he could have crossed earlier. He took the time to position that cross.
Yeah.
My mate Jamie Bradbury, who manages Long Melford, said that. Why didn't he cross the ball on his left foot? It was all waiting for him.
Wouldn't have been any worse, would it?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Do we move it on? Let's have another spin of the wheel. Whose spin is it this time? I've completely forgotten.
Was it mine?
Rich's, it's yours.
Spin away.
Here it comes. There you go. I don't know who asked for this in the chat, but you've got it. So it is the best day ever lived, Diego Armando Maradona. Thoughts, reflections, and memories.
There you go.
Do you want me to go?
Yes.
Well, Mexico '86. That was the first real World Cup I sort of remember. I was 10, growing up. Look, we all know the goal, the hand of God. The second goal. Look, I was. I think. Did you see Gary Lineker on BT last night, Matt?
He reenacted something, didn't he? Did he reenact something?
No, he was on about the. Yeah, but before that, he was on about the pitch at the Azteca Stadium. He said it had just been relayed, and all the turf was like moving, and he scored that goal. Then he was on about when he played. I think it was the rest of the world for England, and Maradona was playing at Wembley, and he came out from the dressing room doing keepy-ups with the ball all the way to the centre circle, and then he just kept volleying it miles up in the air, and then it'd come down, and he'd do it again, and he'd done it 13 times, he said, without hardly moving. And he said when he went back to Barcelona, they were all trying it in training. I think he said 3 was about the highest anyone could get. But I was looking on Twitter, and a lot of people, they call him he's a cheat and all that. Not really for me. He got away with it, but it's no more than anyone does in the game nowadays, diving for penalties and all that. He was going to do what he could to win that game, and he got away with it. And if it was an England player had scored that, would we have been making a song and dance about it? No, we wouldn't. So, look, one of the best players ever. If no one's seen him play, go on YouTube, have a look at the clips. I've been watching some today, like when he was training at Napoli. And look, fantastic player. We can all say now Ronaldo, Messi. You could say Ronaldo from Brazil. Obviously, he was a great player. But Maradona, he's probably the best player I've ever seen.
Never saw him. Can't comment. Just know him for what he did. Sadly, and what he's remembered for isn't necessarily that piece of skill, Rich. So,
what I will say to everyone is, you might have seen the film, but actually his book is a great read. It's called El Diego, and it's written in a lot of kind of Buenos Aires slang that I had to translate into English. So it's a really cool read. So check it out. You can still get it.
Have a look at. Have you seen the Copa del Rey, the fight when he's at Barcelona?
Yeah. Against
YouTube. Yeah, in the Copa del Rey final. If you've not seen it, put it in there because it's classic. You've probably seen that, haven't you, Carl?
I haven't. No.
Have you not seen it?
That's one of the memories I can think back to when I was a kid. He got hacked down by this guy called the Butcher of Bilbao. Goycochea, his name was. And that's what kicked off that huge riot.
And then they sold him, didn't they? After that, they sold him to Napoli, and then he obviously went there and Won
Yeah,
2 titles,
great.
won the
Great stuff,
UEFA Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Barcelona man, and I've not seen that.
Yeah,
Put it in.
it was probably mid, I don't know, so 83, 84 time maybe. I mean, I did like Maradona. He was a great player. The only thing, of course, was he, with the hand of God, he cheated to Bobby. And I never liked to see that.
I always look at that. I always look at that, Matt, and I still think, how did Peter Shilton? You watch it. Shilton doesn't get off the ground.
I don't know how he didn't get there first. I know what you mean.
And why was Terry Fenwick looping that ball back into the box? What the hell was he doing?
You know, some things are manufactured, and you think that's a film. That situation almost seemed manufactured.
It does, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, as you say, that loop back into the box. Shilton, who is one of the greatest at the time goalkeepers in the planet, probably.
Doesn't get off the ground, does he?
Doesn't get off the ground.
Right, but the second goal, what's always bugged me on that second goal, Martin, is Butcher. He's face to face with Maradona. You'd put your money on Terry going right through him, wouldn't you? Dangles a foot.
But you see, I'm upset for Maradona, really, because obviously that second goal, which is wonderful, is never really remembered because of the first.
Right, Cole, you're a cricket man. So we say Diego Maradona cheated. Do you remember Stuart Broad in the Ashes?
Yeah.
When he edged the ball.
Yeah, and didn't walk.
To slip and didn't walk. So that's cheating. He knew he edged it. You remember that, don't you, Matt?
I don't remember that one. What year was this? Was it 2015?
No, before we lost 5-0. The series before we won 3-0.
Oh, right.
Who was bowling? I think it was. Oh, it's Ashton Agar. Ashton Agar.
Oh, Ashton Agar, yeah.
So he's bowled it. Broad's edged it to slip. It's come off the wicket keeper's thigh. Michael Clark caught it. I always watch that, and it's Broad's face is an absolute classic because if he was a poker player, it'd be fantastic because he literally just walks down the other end. He's standing on his bat having a chat with Ian Bell, knowing full well that he's hit that ball. So we can say Maradona's a cheat. Sportsmen at the top level will do anything to win.
Your good friend Stevie Mays there, saying on rehand ball against Ireland. No one ever
I was going to say that. Exactly. No one ever mentions that, do they?
The Irish do.
Interesting that Christian put in Steve Hodge there, mine. Christian, it was Steve Hodge who put the back pass in with it. I worked with Steve Hodge on a few events. He actually has Maradona's shirt from that game.
I don't think you can describe that as a back pass.
I don't know what it was.
Ben Moore says Indoor would have crunched him early doors. David Pascoe, he admitted that any other team other than England would have probably fouled him for that second goal, but we tried to tackle him. And then you've got Tiffin says 2013 Ashes, I think, gents. Nick says cricket is boring, but all down on the screen. Facebook, John McGreal for next man. Well, that's part of the wheel. So let's go back to the wheel. Carl, when you're ready, we'll spin that wheel.
Spin the wheel.
And it is. We've got 3 left. Here it is. Your 11 for Charlton. So what is your starting 11 for Charlton?
Oh, blimey.
Who's choose from, isn't there?
Yeah, who's fit? Apart from Rich in the orange shirt, of course. Who's
Judge?
Freddie Sears.
Sears has got a hamstring now, right? He's done his hamstring, so we'll see you out for a month or something.
Yeah, it'll be a month
to 2 years. Month to 2 years. Yeah.
Take a year off.
Won't be seen again this season. He's gone.
Let's start with the obvious. Holy in goal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Chambers, Ward, Wolfenden, McGuinness.
Same back four. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can't put Ntiala in. And I like James Wilson, but I think he's out somewhere with Vincent Young, whoever he is. They're both vanished off the face of the earth.
Dazelle is back, Cole? Dazelle's now back?
Dazelle's back. Yeah, he is back. So you've got to go Dazelle. Well, who have you got left? Be interesting to see if he plays Dazelle and McGavin together.
I would.
I think he might have to.
Yeah,
might have
Hughes.
He might have to as well.
Put Hughes in, and then up front, Norwood.
You're going to keep him up front top, yeah?
Yeah, I'll keep him up top. Norwood. I'm glad Sears is injured. I used to like Freddie Sears, but I think a bit like Skuse, his day's come and gone now.
Yeah. Richard's been saying that all year as well.
Yeah. So I'd go Lancaster, Norwood, and it's going to have to be Judge, isn't it? But I don't want to see Judge, but he's nailed on starter. So.
All Keenan Bennett's maybe.
Yeah, Bennett's for Judge. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Does anyone know what's up with Edwards?
Hamstring.
That's hamstring as well.
He's doing well, though. He's doing well.
Was that a training ground injury? That wasn't in a game, was it? That hamstring? That was a training ground.
He got it in training, didn't he? I'm changing formation anyway. I'm going 4-2-3-1. So same back five as you said, Carl. If Wilson was fit, he'd be in for McGuinness, but I think he's not fit. I'd have two in front, Dazelle and McGavin sitting in front. Lancaster, Bennett's your wide players. Judge is your number 10, and then Norwood. But I think personally, I thought he was outstanding the other night. It would not surprise me if he played Hawkins, because that's the type of prat that Lambert is, and he will probably do something like that.
You thought Norwood was outstanding?
Oh, I thought so as well. He did everything he could have done.
I thought he was excellent, Matt. I thought that was one of his best games I've seen him play.
I'd pump the
He
brakes
looked really
there.
up for it.
Yeah,
He looked really up for it.
I'm with Matt for once.
No, I thought I'm with Rich.
What do you think?
He's only as good as the service he's going to get. Admittedly, yeah, I get that.
You didn't think he played? You didn't think he played well, Martin?
I thought he played adequate, not excellent, not excellent by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
I mean, excellent, and he wasn't excellent. Simple as that. He was okay.
Well, no one covered themselves in glory, did they? But Norwood's only ever be as good as when you're throwing that lone striker role, which he is really. You're only going to be as good as the.
Well, you see, Matt, there was 2 or 3 times when he run the channels out wide. He's got the ball, he's looked up, and there's no one in the box.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I'd play Jackson.
He did put a cross in, didn't he? I was thinking there's going to be no one there. Yeah.
I'd play Jackson wide left. That's the only difference I think with your team there, Crunch. I think I'd play Jackson.
That's a shout.
Norwood up front, and then we've got some flexibility.
Who are you playing instead of Lancaster or Bennett?
Well, I love Lancaster, so
I don't rate Bennett's with what I've seen so far of him.
I think
Dobra could do the same job as him.
Yeah, I don't think he
could.
No.
Well, let's put it out to the comments. Why does everyone think Dobra's not getting the look in? Why is he playing under 23s football when he could be playing first thing?
Do you want the real answer or the stock?
Because he didn't go to Crawley?
Because Lambert's going to teach him a lesson.
I don't think he's ready.
Yeah, it's going to cost him his job when he's doing it.
How can he not be ready, mind?
How can you say he's not ready? What about the goal he scored against Sheffield United under 23s the other week when he cut across the box, took on 3 players?
Under 23s.
He's put it in the top corner. I don't care.
No, I know you don't, but I do.
He's good enough for football. We're not good enough for us.
You'd rather have an Alan Judge playing.
No, you know I bloody wouldn't. No, you know I wouldn't.
Dobra has to be on the bench. He has to. I'm not saying to start. He has to be on the bench.
I love the bench.
If Judge and Sears and co were performing, this wouldn't be a discussion. But the fact he's leaving him out when they're so underperforming for so long,
really good point.
It's madness, isn't it?
Yeah, it's madness. Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
yes,
I don't get it.
How can it not be madness? Elaborate, Mike.
Digits run the world, my friend.
Well, it's not running this world at the moment. No points is running us at the moment.
Look at the wage list, and I bet you'll see some names at the top. You'll see some names at the bottom. Those names at the top are the ones that are playing. Simple. Those
names at the top aren't going to get us promoted, do they?
How do you manage?
If we don't get promoted, he loses his job.
But how do you manage a dressing room when you've got your biggest earners, your biggest egos, your biggest players
underperforming?
Not happy.
Well, they're playing well, aren't they happy?
It's hard. No. If you drop them.
Well, they're not playing well. When you don't play well, you get dropped.
Well, you make your own bed, don't you? If you're not performing to the standard you should be, then.
Come on, we've all seen like the Spurs documentary. We've all seen players that way do not have grasp of reality.
And even they got dropped.
Of Milan
even they got dropped though, didn't they?
Yeah, but we haven't got another international player to bring in.
We haven't got any international players. None of them are ever getting another cap in their life.
No, I agree.
Dobra's an international player.
Okay, I'll give you that. You know what I mean?
He's certainly.
At 21 level, I can't see Jackson getting that left side. We're going to have to keep him to bring him on in case we're losing the match. Surely, fresh legs, pace.
You see, we've got 5 subs.
And Dobra's still not one of them.
Who's going to be on the bench? That's the problem. Ken Lock.
Rich's mate Ollie Hawkins.
The goal machine. He makes Kevin Lisby look like Ian Rush, doesn't he?
Jokes aside, isn't that really the true sign of where the football club is and where the real problems lie at the football club? Like, you can blame as many managers you want to blame, right? When Ollie Hawkins is considered your 3rd best striker,
it was a ludicrous. We said this constantly. It was a ludicrous signing.
Signed him.
He signed him. Why should he get into it?
But come on, I'm talking about the budget here. Surely the budget couldn't have been that huge if your list of players started and ended with Ollie Hawkins as the third striker.
We went from bloody Clark Harris. What was his name? Was it Clark Harris? The lad from Bristol
Harris
Rovers went Peter Brown. We went from him to Hawkins. So we went from 650 grand, whatever we were going to get, to nothing.
Luke Penning, recruitment needs to be better.
Could make it
Bang on.
Certainly does. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, like, you know, Rich loves Ollie Hawkins. It's probably his favourite player. Isn't it, Rich? No? Okay.
What do you think of Ollie Hawkins? Carl, what do you think of Ollie Hawkins?
What do you think, Carl?
Yeah, go on,
I
Carl.
still think it's too early to say, and you just know if we got rid of him at the end of the season, he'd be playing for someone like he'd be playing international football in a couple of years. Keep him all
syndrome,
yeah. No, I just think the way we're playing, it's hard to judge a new player like Ollie Hawkins. I don't know. I'm on the fence with him at the moment.
Have you, Martin? Have you got blue action in the wheel? Have you got blue action?
Yeah, I was going to say that.
I certainly have. Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yes, I have.
Cool.
I've got two left things in the wheel. One is blue action.
Hold on a minute, I'm not having this. Ian Peters, the Mitch Davray for present day. Mitch Davray was miles better than Ollie Hawkins, let me tell you.
Strolling the team now, isn't he?
Mitch Davray was miles better.
Are you ready? Who wants to spin it?
Yeah. Go on,
You
Carl.
spin it.
I went too early. Sorry. Sorry. I went trigger finger. Here we go. Look at that.
You put blue action in the red zone. What's that about?
Again,
One job.
it's not my software.
One job.
That's Curtis's job. It's Curtis's software.
Yeah, shout out, Curtis. Yeah.
Shout out, Curtis. Blue action. Obviously, a big thing during the week.
Blue action, man.
A banner. I'm sure we've all seen the banner. What are our thoughts on what was said? What's happened?
Yeah.
If he isn't your manager, who is your manager?
It's just a continuation of what we were saying Sunday. You know, we were saying, we need to reconnect with Ipswich's spirit because the club that Evans bought is very different to the club we've got now. Because he was, his objective was to take us into the Premier League, and all the ducks were in a row to be able to do that. I think we were fourth or something, just beating Bristol City 6-0. Yeah, the ducks were in a row to do that, and he has taken us out of the Championship into League One. It's just like, so yeah, I thought it was a great little thing because you can't go in the stadium and protest, you can't boo, you can't make your opinion known. So
one thing you can do. One thing you can do, Martin, is sign the petition because I see you tweeting about that.
I didn't tweet it. I messaged you two about it.
Yeah, don't worry. I've signed it. Don't worry.
Yeah,
I've
signed it.
Retweet it.
It's Talking Town's duty to sign it. Martin was signing it.
Well, we've been debating that in Parliament if we reach so many.
Mr. Paul Lambert should be leaving Ipswich Town Football Club.
We ain't petitioning about.
Order!
Oh, Jesus. I mean, it's a football manager, man.
The banner was a fantastic idea. I see someone having a go saying, why have they done that at night time? Look,
why not?
If they turn up,
they couldn't do it during the day.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If they turn up during the day, they're going to move them on. So they were the fan group who, when Lambert came in, they met with him. They went to the training ground. So they've backed him. They've put on some great displays at the ground.
Yeah.
So they're just look. We can all. I've seen people. They've emailed the club. Look, you might email the club. They're probably going to read it. Delete. You're not going to get a reply. So something like that. It's a visual, isn't it? We can all see it.
Yes.
So
the club can see it. Everyone can see it. They left it there.
I thought it was strange that everyone on Twitter today was saying, "Oh, there's been no comment from the club." As someone who's worked in a press office, you'd put that underneath the carpet. That didn't happen. Everyone knows it's happened, but you don't acknowledge it.
No, you wheel out Brian Clew with some good, feel-good news about young players, Kieran Dyer and all green shoots.
Terry Butcher's back, deflection interview. Yeah. Good.
What did you think about it, Carl?
I thought it was great, to be honest. I know they don't speak for every single fan, but what they did, probably at the same time Paul Lambert came to the club, they made football enjoyable again at Portman Road for me because they gave the North Stand a bit of colour, a bit of atmosphere. I mean, you go back to that Middlesbrough game that you mentioned earlier when we lost 2-0 and the attendance was officially 13,000, probably 10,000 in the ground. That is one of the lowest points that I've ever sat inside that stadium.
I was in Madrid that night, Matt. I was in Madrid.
Champions League?
Yeah. I just went for about 3 days. I watched it. I remember watching it on the iPad, Cole, and it was the atmosphere. Obviously, I weren't there.
Yeah, so
it was dreadful.
I mean, Lambert gets a lot of credit for reconnecting fans to the club and getting crowds of 20,000 back. But for me personally, and the group that I sit with, you know, we're not too far away from Section 6, and we love the noise and the colour that they bring. And
yeah, that's a good point you made there, Carl. I've always thought to myself, did Lambert just take the credit for that? Was it really the Section 6 guys who actually got it all rolling? Really?
But he welcomed them in, didn't he?
Yeah,
he did. Yeah. He did do some good moves there, and he got legends in, didn't he, to see where the club was going wrong. Has he done that since? I wonder.
He should do.
That's gone quiet on that front. Has he got Mick Mills in and said, what how can we improve things? I don't think so.
I thought my opinion on it was that, like everyone, like you said, Carl, they don't speak for every fan. But in this case, I think they've got the nail on the head. Everyone knows that they and Lambert started off. They clearly gave him a chance, more than enough time to prove if he's up to it or not. And now they've sort of said thanks, no thanks. I mean, that's pretty much where everyone's at. Not everyone, but a lot of people. They've spoken for the majority there.
I think you're right. I mean, 90% of people must want Lambert out, surely. I mean, with McCarthy, it was a bit more divided, wasn't it? A lot of people wanted to keep him in for whatever reason. I've got no idea. Wouldn't have been so bored in games. But I think most people want Lambert gone. I'd say 90 to 95% want Lambert gone now. Surely.
Well, a lot of people, they give him a bit of a clean slate, Matt. Joe Fairs, a lot of good views. He give him a clean slate. He's had enough. He's had enough. And I someone like him, I'll take his opinions on board, and I value what he has to say. And look,
it would have been toxic in the ground, wouldn't it? It would have been toxic in the ground.
Is it? Hang on. I don't.
So-called
when
toxic.
McCarthy, yeah, exactly, Rob. When McCarthy was here, they said it was toxic. It's never toxic down at Portman Road. I'm not.
Do you remember when everyone was at Brentford wanting to throw bottles at McCarthy?
Well, yeah.
I was there in the pub. There was nobody. I was throwing as many bottles as nobody else.
It's you think toxic, you do think Galatasaray, don't you? Welcome to hell. That ain't really Portman Road, is it? But as toxic as Portman Road's going to get, yeah, 100%.
Jacob Farrow, that 5% is Martin Greeny. I'm big, Jacob, but I ain't that big. I'm not big as a big whole 5%. Greeny, 100% want him gone. Surely, clean slate has been ruined. Yeah.
I know your views, Martin. You have said on the show before. You said a transition season and then reset at the end of the season. But I still think
I am prepared.
There's time to salvage this season with a new manager. And I know the way you'll go. You'll say you don't want a new manager coming in, get some old players on loan, then they get a 2-year contract. But I still think the squad we've got
is a top 6 side.
Yeah,
because we're 5th. You're starting to sound like Leeds fans. I'm just going to say it.
We're 5th at the minute. We're 5th at the minute. We've lost 6 in the last 9 games.
I know. But look at the rest of the Football League, right? The rest of the Football League will be saying they're sitting 5th in the table and they're having banners about a manager being up, right? If other clubs in the world, I've mentioned one there, did that, you'd all be saying, and I know one of them right in the middle definitely would be saying to a man, that's entitled. That is absolutely entitled to think you should be running away with the division. You're 5th with a top 6 squad. Because if anyone thinks this squad's the bee's knees in League One, you need to pull your head out of the sand.
Adam Tanner said they should be top 2 with this squad. Did it on our show?
Not a chance.
Anyway, Juventus got rid of Sarri after he won the title.
That's Juventus.
So? And?
But the point is, our standards have dropped so far. We can't just be happy with back-to-back mid-table League One finishes.
Exactly.
I'm happy.
Where are we going to finish, Martin? Where are we going to finish, Martin? If he stays all season, 8th?
No.
Where?
If he stays all season.
Yeah.
Well, this is it. You see, this is it. This is where you test the patience, right? Because the moment you fall out, no, because you want my true answer. You're going to get my true answer. This is where because I'm always asked about this. This is where I sit on it. The moment you fall out the top 6 by any more than 2 points, he's gone. Light's gone. Because this is a top 6 side. So the moment he falls out the top 6 by more than 2 points, it's lights out, bye-bye, don't care how long's left on the contract. But while you're inside that top 6, you are performing at expected level.
Mr. Phillips, you're going to be right. You're going to be right over there because that ain't going to be very long, is it? The way they're playing at the minute, another defeat Saturday, and then you go to Oxford and Plymouth. Then you've got Portsmouth, and then you've
Plymouth
got
will have a crowd in.
If I was putting the amount of money Evans was putting into the club on wages, because they have got probably the top 2 wage bill, maybe the top, we don't quite know. I'd be pissed off if we were 5th.
But this is it,
We've got a manager who's getting the manager's. He's on the top whack. He's the highest paid manager.
He's on
in the
top
division.
whack.
Absolutely.
Exactly. A lot of people are getting a lot of money and not really producing the results we need.
But
Goodbye.
this is it. I'm looking at it. I'm stepping back from it because normally I'm all for managers being sacked. So I'm in a really strange situation for the first time.
We don't sack enough. We don't sack quickly enough,
No,
do we? We've had, 15, 16 managers in our history?
And normally they've just taken their coat off and I'm saying, right, bye-bye, time's up.
I
So
would have had 15 managers in the last 3 years, I think.
This is a really strange. I mean, like Paul Hurst, obviously that banner, Rich, was at Norwich, and I already wanted him gone by that point. So it's a real strange place for me to be in. But I'm looking at it long term. I'm thinking, look, there's a big reset coming in the summer.
You've always said this.
I do not want some manager coming in and to get short-term success, bringing in another 33-year-old loanee that will have 7 to 12 good games. The fans will then say, because look, fans are great, but we don't run clubs for a reason. Oh, we should sign so-and-so. The club then, while selling someone with a left hand, will sign that player as a PR stunt to say, look, aren't we great, while selling somebody on the cheap. That's how Alan Judge ended up here. Emir Hughes ended up here because for the same reason. I don't want that. Finally, for the first time in a long time, we've got a big reset coming. There's a lot of players out of contract. There's young players, Lancaster's one of them, coming through another year. Idris El Mizani coming back. Dobra will be further along. Give me a young manager with a plan. You're starting like Crewe did, but further up the pyramid.
Well, that would suit the Cowleys. That would suit the Cowleys because that's what they did at Lincoln.
Yeah, we had a young manager.
Now,
we had a young manager. We had a young manager who wanted to reset after Mick, and we lasted 14 games with him, and then Evans lost his bottle and got rid of him.
Yeah, well,
How
so
annoying
who's
would
to
it be
say?
Who's
Who's to say, Matt, that the end of the season?
ask Scunthorpe.
Look, I think he's linked with Shrewsbury anyway. Going back there,
How Scunthorpe worked out.
see, yeah, but it's. So what I'm
Didn't
saying
work
that.
well, did it?
I personally think Lambert will be here till the end of the season. Then there's going to be a massive overhaul, and I think Kieran Dyer will get the job in the summer.
But
if you're going to go,
I do get that thinking. I can see where you're coming from on that.
So give him this.
The point I was going to make was how annoying would it be if Hurst went back to Shrewsbury? He's gone full circle, and within that circle, he's been partly responsible for putting it into the third tier.
maybe you can take Toto. You can take Toto. You can have Toto back.
Yeah, and John Dolan.
But I would be much more comfortable with someone like Kieran Dyer as manager, having now seen his body of work at under 23 level for a period of time, as opposed to suddenly parachute him in now. Or worse, parachute a Cowley or a Cook or somebody in now and say, top 2 or bust. Because then you're going to get really bad transfer decisions.
If you look at it on paper,
set this club back.
If you look at it on paper, that's the only box Evans hasn't ticked yet because he's gone for a young manager. He's gone for the Grizzly veteran in McCarthy. He's gone for the big name in Keane. So you might as well just go with someone who's got no experience whatsoever other than, played at the highest level and played for England.
But
what do you think, Carl? Kieran Dyer?
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, okay. So I don't know if you saw my tweet earlier today about thoughts when each of Paul Gill, Mick McCarthy and Paul Hurst all got the sack, etc. And each time had a common theme about no transparency at the club, no ambition, no sort of plan set in place. And obviously the common denominator amongst all of that is Marcus Evans. What Matt just said is almost true, because I was thinking, well, what's left? What haven't we tried? The young manager with an Ipswich connection, Kieran Dyer, and the only other thing we haven't tried is a foreign manager. But what good foreign manager would want to come to Ipswich, a la Daniel Farker style at Norwich? So do I want Lambert out? Yes, I do. But I do worry about, will it just be another recycle in another year's time, 2 years' time of us wanting the next man out? But,
because that's what I worry about Kieran Cole, because obviously I think all of us on here, look, Kieran Dyer, he's
bleeds blue.
We're all, and we all love that. But how long does it take in football for the fans to? He comes in, he starts poorly in the first 10 games, and you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Look at Solskjaer.
Get Kieran Dyer out.
Look at Solskjaer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If Colchester, got rid of Steve Ball and Kieran Dyer went there as manager, we'd all be spitting feathers, wouldn't we?
No.
No. Maybe. You're right, yeah.
No, I wouldn't. I'd say, okay, go and prove something like Burley did, and then we'll have you back when you've done that. Because Colchester United will never be bigger than this football club. Never, ever. Never in a million years. Don't care what they do. They'll never be bigger than us. Simple as that. But yeah, I do get your point. Many people are saying in the chat, Kieran Dyer, Terry Butcher, who's failed at management already. You know, but you say about people turning on managers. If you knew this was a young squad and we're building from ground zero and we're putting foundations in for maybe a la Burley and Sheepshanks, not for this year, maybe not even next year, but we've got a long-term plan with long-term sustainability and long-term thinking now happening at the football club, would they turn quickly on someone like Kieran Dyer or heaven forbid, Luke Chambers or a young manager?
I just don't feel in that place, mine. I just don't feel in that place. I mean, everyone's kind of unanimous in that we have to get out of this division this year because of salary caps and the fact that you don't want to be a League One team. We'll become a League One club, won't we? With another season.
The thing is, if you sit in the middle of a league for long enough, as we found out, you end up slipping down one eventually.
Yeah,
if you sit in the middle of League One, you end up in League Two eventually.
But the salary cap is such a red herring because, as we've proven, it don't matter what you spend; it's how you spend it. If you get more shrewd, if you get more long term, if you get more proactive, doesn't matter about a salary cap.
Yeah, but is the owner happy in this league? Because he doesn't have to invest so much money, does he? If he goes up to the Championship, what do we do then? If that happened, what would we do?
You have to think.
Get absolutely murdered. It get absolutely murdered.
You have to think Everton would look to get rid of the club once we got back into the Championship. Maybe that's what he's trying to do. Just getting back to where I got him from.
If we get into the Championship, he gets in 8-10 million. I forget what the number is. That's the first money back he'll have had from the club since he brought it.
Yeah.
It would be the perfect time for him to sell it.
You see, this reset I keep
9 mil, I think.
speaking about, I would much prefer it to be in the Championship. Of course I would. But I'm realistic enough to know actually that I've not rated this squad. Last year on the podcast, Rob, obviously you know, I did not like this squad last year. I said it was never what it was supposed to be. It wasn't going to be a top 2 squad. It's just not. And I'm thinking while you're in the top 6, you're kind of getting your money's worth out of it because it's not better than that.
Doesn't guarantee promotion though, does it? The top 6. That's the issue.
When you can't beat the teams around you.
Exactly.
No, it does not. We've got one last question before we close up. Another hour in the books. We do fly through these shows.
We do.
I've combined 2 suggestions from Mr. Moss and Mr. Phillips. Mr. Phillips wanted your favourite flavour of crisps. Mr. Moss
for the flavour. What's his favourite flavour?
Mr. Moss wanted your favourite chocolate bar. So I've combined the 2. What is your half-time snack of choice? What would you? Okay. You're at Portman Road. You go down the concourse. Obviously, a beer is a standard, Green King.
Will we be able to when they're open? Will they be able to open the concourse?
But why would you want to go back? Why would you?
I want to get back.
We said this on the WhatsApp earlier. I've said this before. Make a standard. Don't go.
He's their perfect fan, Matt. He's upset with everything, but he eats everything and he spends his credit card in that club shop like there's no tomorrow, don't you, Rich?
He's keeping them afloat. Well, Ipswich fans would go to the opening of a bloody Christmas party, wouldn't they? That's the issue.
Am I a mug?
No. But your favourite half-time snacker choice to close round?
Yeah, I'm going with Worcester sauce crisps. Top premium flavour. Is it Worcester or Worcestershire?
Christ.
I think it's Worcester.
Worcestershire.
Oh, is it? It's the purple packets.
It's Worcester.
Worcestershire.
I have to Google it. Good flavour.
Shrewsbury.
A lion bar and a Bovril.
Oh, very 80s.
That just sums up where the club is right now, I think. That's what I feel like having now. Lion bar dipped in Bovril.
Eric Clacton, Portman Pie.
Portman Pie.
Never had
they were good. They were good in about 2009.
Yeah, award winning. I've seem to recall.
Like the team.
Oh, I had really bad food poisoning, Matt, after the the Youth Cup when we beat Southampton in the final.
Yeah.
I had a chicken balti pie, and I was ill as anything the next day. But then we played Leeds. Do you remember that, Cole? We played Leeds away when Darren Curry missed an absolute.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Oh.
Cole, you're at half time. What is your choice, my friend?
Whatever's in the goodie bag, because it only cost me £1. I ain't spending.
Oh, you're going to East Anglian, yeah? Don't they give you a free one?
Yeah, exactly. They charge you. Do you not show some sort of?
I don't read the paper. I just buy it for a bottle of water and whatever food's in there.
Very quick question for the comments, Martin. Are people actually still supporting Ipswich as you were at the start of the season, or have you just got disinterest on total apathy?
There you go.
You know, I was sort of sat there on Tuesday night on the sofa watching the game. We're 3 down. was thinking, I'm so disconnected to the club that I was supporting at the, our last recent glory days was Burley's era, in the Premier League, finishing 5th, 3-0 at Southampton. I felt so disconnected to what I was watching on the pitch. Sad, really.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because I think without the match day ticket, I'd be so far removed from it. But that.
I think they've got to be careful. I think the club have got to be careful because with fans not going since March, and now we're going to get 2,000 back. A lot of people are going to think, tell you what, sod that. I'm going to go and spend my money on other things on a Saturday. I'm not going to waste my time.
They should.
Yeah.
They should. Make a stand and don't go. Don't go. I like kind of like European football culture, the ultras on the continent. They wouldn't go. They'd say, sod it, he plays an empty stadium still.
As I've said off air, that if you want the manager gone, do not go, because if you got 2,000 fans able to go and no one turns up, that is going to make front and back page news.
Who's going to go? Who's going to go on here? Who, if you get a chance to go? Because I will.
I'm not going to go.
Carl, you going to go?
No, I'm not going.
Rob?
No, I'm not going to go.
Yeah, I'd go.
Rob would go for the beers and his mates. Not for
And the football guys.
If I was the club, I'd be going through the families first, because you want as many young fans there as you can, because that's less hostile.
Yeah.
Because then you can tell stewards any foul language, warn them, and then out. Because then Lambert can't get barracked. Then he can't get called a see you next Tuesday, because it's a family sort of feel.
That would be a PR stunt.
Dan Palfrey and Co. You can have one for free, my friends. No commission is needed on that idea.
That was my fault. They would have as few people there from the lower SBR stand.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's where mine was going with that. Mine, your whole stand can go, mate. You're all good. They haven't stood up in 10 years. Your stand. Your stand haven't stood up since 2004.
We make more noise than a North stand do, Sam.
Lies. The last time your stand made noise is when Leeds had your seats.
What stand is Martin in?
Cobbold.
Block
Upper
B, row
Cobbold.
E, C. One of the cobble stand, my friend.
What is that? Lower or upper?
Upper, not lower. No.
Sitting there getting soaked,
I will defend Martin there a little bit. When I take my daughter, she doesn't like the North stand, so I begrudgingly have to take myself out. And we went over the middle tier of the co-op stand for a little while, and that was awful. I got absolutely vilified for standing up once over there.
How dare you?
And I said, I'm never coming over here again. So
that's where I sit down just along from the dugouts, Cole, because obviously my kids. But I've only got another 2 years, and my youngest he's 10, he'll be 12, and we can all get in the North stand.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah. So as a substitute, I go up in the top of the Cobbold stand, down the North stand, then, and it's brilliant up there.
No.
Only as a rare substitute, of course. She
that
don't go that often.
That co-op stand, Carl, you got to stand up just to feel your legs every 5 minutes, because it's cramped as anything.
Yeah, a Ryanair flight in there, isn't it?
Worse than Ryanair, pal.
I used to take her in the front row there so she could obviously see, and my knees were sort of sticking out onto the touchline.
Yeah, we were shoved over there for the Leeds game, because we paid the most for our seats, but we're shoved everywhere else. Anyway, side issue. And you can't see after touchline, because everyone's head's in the way. It's like, terrible seats. Callie, I have a sin ticket in middle tier at co-op. Always get told off for standing strong. Callie, come and join the Sir Bobby mob, mate. We have it large every week. I miss it now. I really do. But I wouldn't go.
I'll tell you quickly what happened with me there thinking about it. The North stand was singing Mick McCarthy, Your Football Is.
Yeah.
And I stood up and applauded it. And a couple of old boys behind me told me to sit down. And another old boy next to me said, mate, he said, I do agree with you, but you can't be standing up in here. You'll never get away with it. I said, I'm a North stander. I'm only here for the day. And I'm
on loan.
One of my dad's last games before he died was we had an argument with somebody, and I just thought it was a fitting way to go, because he loved an argument, and he had a banner that read about Mick McCarthy, and someone told him to take it down, and I
remember seeing him in the car park after him. He shouted at me across the car park, "He's got to go, Rob. He's got to go." That's probably the last words I've heard him say, mate.
He made the banner that is in Mick We Rust that you've all seen in the paper. He made that, and
cool.
In my kitchen table and gave it to
Martin never held that up, just for the record. Me and a few others held that up twice and got vilified. Martin never once held the thing.
No, I didn't. But my fingerprints were all over it. Anyway, we are done. Another week in the book. So Charlton on Saturday, match day ticket. It is myself, the Cruncher, and Adam Flatt. New contributor,
Nice.
Adam Flatt to the show. That'll
stuff.
be good. Sadly,
good.
Jordan has to work.
He likes his bleach. Matt.
Yes. That was a
Other
really
cleaning
good
products. Other cleaning products are available.
Absolutely.
And Carl, don't forget to write. This week I was on Ipswich Town's #1 fan podcast in your column this week, yeah?
I will do. Job done.
Thanks
for having me.
Right. No, thank you. And hopefully you'll come
Yeah,
back
thanks for coming, mate.
very soon. As you can
Top
see,
man.
we,
Yeah.
don't
Top
take
man.
ourselves seriously on this show whatsoever. But yes, so get those suggestions in on Twitter for the band name. I'd love to see your witty suggestions, and see you all Saturday at 2:30 for the match day ticket. With love, with care. See you all
See
later.
ya.
Take care of yourselves.
See you later.
See ya.